Okay.
All right, that way you can, if you need to go back and watch it later, you can go back and watch it later, okay?
All right.
Just in case. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do a lot of things on the calculator. The first thing that you need to know how to do is to clear your calculator, okay? Do you know how to clear your calculator?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what are your keystrokes?
Like fully clear or just like
Just just not fully clear, but just clear the random access memory. Just clear your memory.
yeah, I do not remember that.
Okay, so we're gonna cut it on. We press the second button, then the plus button, then reset is number 7, all is number 1, and then 2, reset. So it's second plus 7 1 2. 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 Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So now when you type fractions in your calculator, you can type them using parentheses. You got your parentheses. And let's suppose you want to do the fraction 10 over 15. Type in a fraction just like that. Now you want to reduce this fraction. So to reduce this fraction, you go math. And right here, it says fraction. You want to convert it to a fraction. But that fraction, you want the fraction to be reduced. So just press enter on that first one and then press enter again. And it reduces the fraction for you. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we got another one, 8 over, and this time I'm not going to use the parentheses, 8 over, let's say 16, math, enter, and then enter again. Are we good with reducing the fraction?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So clear your calculator is second plus 7 1 2. Second plus 7 1 2. To reduce a fraction, we could have, let's do 7 over 14. We got math, enter, enter. Math, enter, enter. All right, we good?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So now, clear it out. Now we're doing square root, the square root of a number. So you got second, the x squared button, and that puts the square root symbol. If we're doing the square root of 25, we type in 25. So that means what one number can be multiplied times itself to give you 25, the number under the radical. And so we press enter, and that gives us 5. You okay with that?
Yes, ma'am.
So we got second, x squared. Let's do 75 and press enter, and that gives us the decimal. Are we good with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Now let's do cube root of a number. So to do the cube root of a number, you press math. Then you go down to cube root. It's right here. This is cube root, number 4. Press enter. So let's do 81. Cube root of 81. That means what number can be multiplied times itself 3 times to give you 81. So press enter there, and that number can be multiplied. I should have did it a perfect one. Let's do a perfect one first. So let's do it again. We got math. Cube root is number 4. Okay. And let's do 8 What number can be multiplied times itself 3 times to give you 8? And that's 2. Okay? 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. See? 2 times 2. Oops. 2 times 2 times 2. It's 8. Okay? Or 2 to the third power. You can do 2, caret key, 3. That's 2 to the third power. Or you can do 2. You can do math and go down to the third power right here. So there are different ways that you can type in to the third power. Are you okay with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So recap. You got square root, second, x squared, square root of, let's say, 36. Enter. The answer is 6 because 6 times 6 is 36. That's square root. You type in cube root. You go to math and you go down to number 4. So we can say the cube root of, what's another number we could use? 125? It's 5. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So we can type in 5 times 5 times 5, and you get 125. So the cube root of 125, that means what number can be multiplied times itself 3 times to give you 125, and that number is 5. 5 can be multiplied 3 times to give you 125. Are you okay with all of this? Are you okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool beans. All right. Excuse me. So let's do scientific notation, okay? So to write numbers in scientific notation in your calculator, you go to mode, and your calculator is on normal now. Switch it over to SCI, which is scientific notation, and press enter. Okay. Then press second mode, go back to your main screen. So now all the numbers that you type in are going to be written in scientific notation. Okay. So let's do this number right here. To write a number in scientific notation, you have 6,238. You locate the decimal. You move the decimal behind the first significant digit, which is 6. 1, 2, 3. So this is 6.238. You remember this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then times 10 to the third power. Okay. So this is how you write this number in paper in scientific notation. But in the calculator, we just changed our calculator to scientific notation mode. So now let's type in this number, 6,238, and enter. And do you see the calculator came up with the same thing? And they wrote E, but E in the calculator is the same as saying times 10. That's important to know that this is the meaning times 10 is. And the number behind the E is the exponent. So your exponent is 3. Are you okay with that?
Yes, ma'am.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So we're going to type in decimal 0.000000000076. Okay, this is a really small number. It's smaller than 1. So you know your exponent is going to be a negative number since the original number is smaller than 1. So press enter, and this is what you get. This is how the calculator writes it in scientific notation. 7.6 times 10, because that's what E is, times 10 to the negative 11 power. Are you all right with that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. All right. So now we got that. Repeated decimals as fractions. Let's do repeated decimals as fractions. When you have a repeated decimal, such as you might have point 5 repeating, do just like this. Make sure you do it all the way to the end of the screen. Then press your math button and then convert to a fraction. And it gives you the correct answer. But if you only do it a couple times, 0.555, and then you do the math button, enter, it's not going to give you the right answer because it doesn't recognize it as being repeated. So if you're trying to convert a repeated decimal into a fraction, you have to take that number that's being repeated all the way to the end of the screen so that the calculator can recognize that it's a repeated decimal. Does that make sense to you? Are you all right with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I hate to have to keep asking you, but I just want to make sure you know it. Okay.
Oh, wait, on the calculator,
Mm-hmm.
how would you do like the like to graph stuff? Like you just click scatter like y equals, then like when you type in your stuff, then like you go to graph and it shows you it.
Oh, that's what I'm getting to next. Yep. Okay.
I
So
just wanted to make sure.
no, you're fine. That's great. I'm glad you asked. Okay, so now we are going to do some graphing. Let's suppose that you have, it says you're graphing, um, graph y is equal to 2x plus 4. Okay, so here is where you go. You go to y equals here, and you're going to type in the equation 2x plus 4. So this is 2 down here. Your X button is right beside the green alpha button. This is X, that's 2X. Then we have plus 4. You good with that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and so now to graph it, you just press the graph button here. So the coordinate plane that the calculator automatically gives you is only from -10 to +10 on the X, unless you change it, and -10 up to +10 on the Y. So if you have numbers that are greater than 10, then this is how you change it. You can go to zoom and you can go to zoom fit right here, and it'll give you a graph that they feel like is good for that line. Any questions about that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. If you want to know the X, how far it goes on the X and the Y, you can go to window and you can also change it here. So here you can change it. You see where you X min, X max. Your X min and your X max is talking about the X axis. This is your X min all the way over here. This is your X max. Okay, and that's what those values are in the calculator. It went from -10 on the X axis to +10. And then it's going up by increments of 1. If you want to change these numbers, you can. You can go all the way to -20 if you want to, and then all the way to +20 if you want to, or you can make it smaller. It's up to you. If you change this number, if you change it to 2, that means it's going to go up by 2s. You change it to 3, it's going to go up by 3s only on the x-axis. This is your y-axis right here. So your y-min is the smallest number on the y-axis going down is how far you want to go down, and your y-max is how far you want to go up. Okay. Then this number right here, YSCL, that's the increments, just like this is the increments. So if you change this to 5, that means on the y-axis it's going to go up by 5 or go down by 5. If you change it to 6, it's going to go up by 6 and down by 6 as well. Any questions about this? Keep this at, don't mess with this, just keep this at 1. Any questions about that? You okay?
No, ma'am, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Now, if you need to reset your calculator, you can, but if you want to put it back at 10, 10, zoom, and you can go down to standard, zoom Z standard, and that puts it back at 10, 10, 10 all the way. This -10, +10, -10. It puts it back in this one. All right. If you want to zoom in and zoom out, here's your zoom in and zoom out. Like if you want to zoom out some more on your graph, you go to zoom out and you just press enter and then zoom out some, and it'll keep zooming out every time you press enter. If you want to zoom back in, you press zoom in and you just keep pressing zoom in, and it might not go as far as you want it to, but that's probably, that's what you want. And again, to put it back 10, 10, 10, Z standard. All right, so now let's graph some ordered pairs or a scatter plot. Okay, so when we graph a scatter plot, oh, let me go to table first. So if you have y is equal to 2x plus 4, then you want to create the function table in the calculator. The function table in the calculator, your x and y values are right here in yellow. So you press yellow and graph, and this will give you your function table values. I think it's still in scientific notation. So go back to mode and put it back on normal. So now it takes it out of scientific notation mode. Okay, so again, the second mode, and make sure that mode, make sure it's in normal. Okay, so now when you go to second table, look at this. You see, these are your x and y values. You can go up as you just keep pressing the down arrow. Okay, if I want to type in my own x values to figure out what y is equal to, like they say, what if x is equal to, 70, then what's y equal to? Okay, oops, sorry. I could just substitute that in, but I could also type it in, okay? So I have, I can go here to where it says second window, and instead of automatically coming up with the numbers, the calculator can ask you for the numbers. So you switch from auto to X. And then you go to second graph. And now you can type your own X values in. So I can type in 70, and my answer is 144. See? So if I substitute 70 into this, I should get 144. Let's suppose if I substitute 100 in, type in 100, substitute 100 in, okay, and it gives me my answer, 204. See, so 100, this is right, because 2 times 100 is 200, plus 4 is 204. So, any questions about that so far?
No, ma'am.
Are you okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so now I have, let's see here. Now I have, go back and look. Okay, so I'm gonna take it off this. So go back to second table, that's table setup, and put it back on auto. Okay. So now when I go back to my table, the numbers all come back up again. Okay. All right, so now I want to graph some points in the calculator. So let's graph some points. Let's do, this is X, this is Y. Let's do 1, 6, 2, and 10, 3, and 15. Let's do 4 and 21, 5 and 19, 6 and 25. All right, so let's do these, okay? This is where you go in your calculator. And I'm gonna clear my calculator again. Second plus 7, 1, 2. All right, now I'm gonna type these in. So in order to type this into my calculator, I go to Stat right here, and I press Enter on Edit. And so now I'm gonna use two lists. I'm gonna put these numbers in L1 and these numbers in L2. I always use L1 and L2. So to type these numbers in, 1, press the enter, or you can press the down button. You can either press enter or down to go to the next line. 3, enter, 4, enter, 5, enter, 6. Are you okay so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And now I'm going to type these numbers in. So I'm going to press the arrow button over, and I'm going to type these numbers in. So that's going to be 6, enter, 10, enter, 15, enter, 21, enter, 19, enter, and 25. Make sure you have the same number of X and Y values. Make sure you typed it in right. It looks right here like it does on your paper. Okay? All right. Do you have the numbers typed in? Are you good?
Yes, ma'am. I'm typing.
Okay. So now you're going to go to second. You're going to press your second button. And you're going to press Y equals. Okay. So press second and Y equals. And now you see how it'll do multiple plots at the same time? We only want it to graph this. So let's press enter. And right now it's off. So we need to press it on. So we're going to click enter again. So now it switches from off to on. You see the next line, you can go down, press the down arrow. This is the type of graph. You just want to graph the points. So leave it on this. Okay, this is just graphing points. So leave it there. Your X values are in L1. We already said that. Your Y values are in L2. We already said that. Mark your this is what you want your ordered pairs to look like on your graph. You want to be able to see it. You don't want to use a plus sign or a dot because those are hard to see in the calculator. So leave it on these blocks so that you can see the points. Any questions about that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So now if I graph these, all my points are not going to show up. Why? Because remember, I told you that when you graph, it's automatically going to go to negative 10, 10. That's the standard coordinate plane on a calculator. It's going from negative 10 to positive 10, negative 10 to positive 10. So you see how all my points didn't show up because those numbers are bigger than 10. Okay, so this is what you could do. You can go to window and change your X and Y axis yourself, or you can go to zoom fit and allow the calculator to choose the best coordinate they think. Okay, go back to zoom fit and press enter. And it didn't do anything. Oh, no, it still didn't do anything. So zoom fit could go zoom out, but let me do zoom fit again. Maybe zoom fit only really works for that. Yeah, no, okay. So it's not working for the scatter plot. So, okay, so I usually, for scatter plots anyway, what I usually do is just type it in because it's kind of easier for me to just type them in. So I look at my X values here, and my X values go from 1 to 6. So negative 10 to positive 10, that works because all of these numbers fit between them. It's the Y that's not enough space. 10 is not enough space. I need to at least go up to 25, but I want to go a little bit bigger than 25 because then 25 is just going to be at the edge of the screen. So let me go up to 30. So I'm going to go up to 30. And I don't have any negative numbers here. So I'm not going to go down to negative 10. I'm going to just go down to negative maybe 2. okay? Because I don't need all that space. Any questions about why I changed those numbers?
No, ma'am.
Are you okay with it though?
Yeah.
Do you understand it? Did I move too fast?
No, I understand it.
Okay, okay. All right, so now you can graph. And there you go. Those are your order pairs. Okay. Are you all right with that?
What, ma'am?
Are you okay with the graphing this now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now let's draw a line of best fit. Let's draw a line of best fit in the calculator. So this is how you draw a line of best fit. For these points, to draw your line of best fit, this is what you do. Go back to stat. Go back to edit. Make sure that you type all your points in. I just started from the beginning. So you type all your points in, and you did that. So now you're going to go back to stat, and you're going to go over to calc, and you're going to go down to lean reg and press enter. Okay. All right, so watch these next couple steps so that your line will automatically be graphed on the calculator. So we're going to press second 1, comma, second 2, comma, then we're going to go to vars, y vars, okay, and then we're going to press enter, enter, and then we're going to press enter one more time. So this is my line of best fit, okay, so this is my line of best fit. So how do I write that? Y is equal to, this A is the slope, so this is 3.6 x, and then we got plus my y-intercept is 3.2. So this is my line of best fit. But the calculator has already, because I did those keystrokes earlier, the calculator has already put it under y equals. It copied it there. So now all I have to do is just graph. And now you can see the line show up on the graph. That's the line of best fit. Okay. Any questions about that? You okay? You all right? Uh-oh.
Sorry, my mic wouldn't work.
Oh, okay. I was like, what happened? Because I know you had tech issues last week, so I'm just making sure. All right. Okay. So you want to do this again so you can get more practice with doing that?
I think I already got that one like all jam packed and ready.
Okay. So are you okay with everything that I've done so far in the calculator?
Yes, ma'am.
That is amazing. So if you can do those things, you are going to be good. All right, so the last thing I'm going to do is systems of equations in the calculator, okay? Because that's another one that's different, okay?
I
All right,
suck at those. I'm just gonna say that.
say again.
I'm really bad at doing those. I'm just gonna say that.
That's okay. All right, so we're going to find the system. Let me see. I'm sorry. I said find the system. I didn't mean to say that. We're going to solve these systems of equations. Systems of equations is where you have more than one equation, okay? More than one equation. So, and you're figuring out where the lines cross each other. So when you graph equations, straight lines, when you graph them, one may be going this way, the other one may be going this way. The solution is going to be the point in which they cross each other. So this is going to be your solution, whatever this coordinate is. So this has one solution. because it only has one point that they share. So this is going to be your solution here, wherever they cross. Okay. If you have, let's do another kind. If you happen to graph the lines, okay, and you got one line here, and you got another line here, and they're parallel, you can tell they're parallel, this is no solution. If they're parallel, it's no solution because they don't share any points. They never gonna cross. Okay. If you have two lines that when you graph them, oops, sorry about that. If you graph them, make sure it's a straight line because we're only dealing with straight lines, okay? If you graph them, see this? If you graph them and they're right on top of each other, then this is infinitely many solution because they share all of the same points because they graph the exact same line. They're right on top of each other. So this is infinitely many. This is infinitely many solutions. Does that make sense? Are you okay with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good deal. All right, so now we're going to do some examples in the calculator so we can figure out the solution. Now, keep in mind that if you graph one and it looks like it will eventually, like it's at the edge of the screen, and it looks like it will eventually cross each other, they're going to cross each other. These are not parallel. So they still have one solution. You just need to fix your calculator so that you can see the point that they cross. Just because you don't see them cross, don't mean you say no solution. No, these two lines would eventually cross if they continue. So this is still one solution because they are going to cross. Okay, so let's do some examples in the calculator. Let's graph some lines. Okay, so I'm moving to another topic. So a lot of times what I do when using my calculator, I will go ahead and clear my calculator. So the second plus 712. Oops, sorry. Second plus 712. If everything needs to be clear completely, it's second plus, we got 7, and we stroll over to all. That means everything, reset that whole entire thing, enter 2. Okay, and I'll do that one more time. See how it's resetting everything? So like if you accidentally deleted something you wasn't supposed to delete, you can press the second button, the plus sign, 7, stroll over to all, and then 2. Okay. All right, so let's go to y equals. Okay. And we're going to type in 2. We're going to type in 2 equations. We got y equals already here. This is your first, this is your second. So we're just going to do 2 equations. The first equation we're going to do 3x is right beside the alpha button. 3x. Let's do minus 6. Okay. And then the second equation that we're going to do, let's do a negative 1/2. So how do you type in 1/2? We can do parentheses 1 divided by 2. X. And the negative can go inside the parentheses if you wanted to, okay? And let's do plus 4. So we got 2 equations. And remember, if you don't have enough space, then you can always use the zoom fit button so that the calculator can choose the coordinate plane for you. Zoom fit is not going to work on the scatter plot that we remember when we tried earlier. So zoom fit, but I know for a fact it works for your equations. All right, so now we're going to graph. So this right here is the point in which they cross each other. So what is that point right here? So all you have to do is press the second button, second, trace, and you want to figure out where they intersect, where they cross. That's number 5. Enter, and then you're going to press enter 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. So this is the point in which they cross. So my x coordinate is, what is that? It's, I'll round at 2.8, 2.9. That's my x. And my y down here at the bottom is about 2.6. And this is where they cross. Any questions about that? That's going to be my solution. Are you okay? Are you okay, babe? Can't hear you at all. Okay, I'm going to do another one. All right, so we got y is equal to, okay, I'm going to do one that has the same slope. So let's look at this. We got 5x plus, let's do plus 5. 5x plus 5, okay? Now let's do another 5x, same slope, okay? Minus 3, okay? So let's graph them. The slopes are the same here. So when the slopes are the same, look at what happens with the equations. Look at that. They never cross each other. They're parallel. So when the slopes are the same, the lines are parallel. They're never going to touch. So this is a no solution, okay? No solution here. All right. Let's do one more. Y equals, okay? Let's suppose that we have, let's do parentheses 7 divided by 14, okay? And then we got x, let's do minus 6, okay? And then let's do another fraction, let's do parentheses 1 half, okay? Then we got x minus 6, okay? So let's graph and see what's going on here. So when we graph, okay, do you see how only one line really showed up? Okay, I'm gonna trace. Look, you see that's one line that showed up there. Oh, I pressed enter. That means it kind of zoomed out for me or whatever. So you see, if I press the up button, it shows me that, look, it goes from one equation to the next. They both actually graph the same line. So this is infinitely many solution because they share all the same points. And if you need to see the table, you can go to second table. Both tables are going to show up for both functions. And you can see the numbers are the same for both equations. The y values are the same for both equations. So this one is infinitely many because all the points are the same on both lines. Okay. Any questions, comments, or concerns about that? All right. Okay. Stop it here. I'm going to stop the video.